Eyes up, Guardian.
Okay, the first thing we can talk about is customization, which is like sort of the main opening part of the game.
Yeah.
It's quite cool how it's sort of a mixture between sort of an MMO sort of thing and RPG sort of game.
Yeah, it is. It does kind of feel a bit like an MMO at the beginning, how you're kind of introduced into it.
Yeah, it's a lot like games like Skyrim and stuff like that, and even like Sims. But
Yeah.
however, those games I would say have a more diverse.
Yeah, but it's kind of, considering what it is quite a good.
It's a good selection. Like there's 3 races and in classes.
Yeah, and when you consider the fact that you don't actually see what people have kind of done all that often, you only see it when they're in the tower place.
Yeah, the social zone.
Yeah, in the social zone kind of place. It doesn't actually matter that much, but it does give you some kind of individuality from what everyone else has done. So not everyone else is walking around looking exactly the same.
Yeah, I explored sort of. I went a human hunter and also went like a warlock. Like, it escapes the name. Of the actual race, the blue-faced people.
Yeah,
they're cool.
Yeah,
and their eyes were pretty cool too.
I don't know whether I'd say that it's as good as it could be, but it's not really needed for it to be much better than that. Like, I would have liked for it to maybe have kind of like a lot of games have like sliders to try and adjust things, and you know, it's more in depth kind of how you can customize your character and things, and it's kind of you're just given a small selection, and then that was what you had to have basically.
Yeah, so obviously when the full game comes out, it'd be great to see possibly a bit more in that area of the game.
Yep. I mean, I don't know whether that's going to be a thing, but hey, it's not massively important in my opinion anyway.
You've been dead a long time, so you're going to see a lot of things you won't understand.
Okay, now we move on to the first mission. So you start off basically in Russia amongst all these sort of wrecked cars, and your ghost, the floating eye thing, he resurrects you from the dead. yeah. It was it's fairly cliche with the whole eye thing, a bit like the Halo Oracle, but they done it really well. And the voice acting is pretty good as well. It's very believable, as it said. It's a cool backstory with the traveler coming down, and you sort of put straight into the action, I think.
Yeah.
It
doesn't particularly tell you how the rest of the game is going to go, but it is a really good way of getting you into it right from the off, because you just go in and you're kind of anticipating seeing the first alien, seeing what they're like, seeing what the gun you're using is going to be like, and
it's pretty cool how you sort of find the weapons and just sort of try to battle your way through. I definitely enjoyed finding the ship at the end. Going back.
That was cool how they did that. I mean, it's a shame that everyone's got the same shit at the start.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's got the same everything in general. I suppose they got the same intro anyway, which it would be nice if, like, for the different classes they had
different areas or different races even to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just had some kind of variation for the start. Like, I don't know, like just a different setting for the place where you start off, or something.
Yeah, or maybe a different spot in Russia, and but it was a tutorial, obviously. But it definitely did a good job of getting you in, sort of teaching you how to go through, and obviously the leveling system is pretty good at the start. And it's cool.
Yeah, it's quite self-explanatory. I mean, it's quite a simple game to play, isn't it, as well? So it was quite self-explanatory. The kind of how the tutorial went. You barely notice you're even in a tutorial because you just kind of go through. It tells you kind of normal things, what you're supposed to be able to do and stuff, and you just kind of get into it really quickly.
Even though it was a linear start of the game, it was still felt that you were exploring. Like, you could go anywhere really, though you kept to the same path. Like, opening chests and whatnot, it sort of just felt like you were like starting off your stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the ending of that bit. That was fun.
Yeah. And this tower is where the Guardians live.
So first, after finishing the first mission, you're put into the tower, or next to the traveler, where
the social zone.
Social zone. Where all of the guardians of the last city on Earth gather.
Yep.
And it's really cool. The first thing you notice, obviously, is that you're no longer in first person, you're in third person. Which I thought was pretty cool, sort of checking out your gear, what you just got in a mission.
It's like you come out of the battle zone and you want to see what your gear looks like after you've got your new armor and new guns and stuff. You want to see everything, and you want to kind of have a look at your character and stuff.
It's also pretty cool just seeing everyone else, and it's sort of like a muckabout zone in the sense that the gestures...
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is trying to join with your friends is a bit of a nightmare, but that's not because of Destiny, that's because of Xbox, but I'm not going to get onto that. That's a complete other subject, but it is really good. It kind of occupies you while you're waiting to try and
start another
join
quest.
With your mates.
And obviously all the vendors, all of like sort of the bounty missions. It's all there.
There's quite it's all, everything's kind of got its place, and everything's in its place, isn't it?
And of course, we can't move on without mentioning the football and the hidden ghost. That was fun.
The glitchy football that you can have so much fun with.
And there was that purple one as well. That was
but I don't know where that one went.
It went off somewhere.
It went off. It flew away.
Yeah, though I sometimes found in the social zone that I was just by myself. I wasn't sure whether it was a server problem.
Yeah, not so much social zone.
Yeah. Or you could just constantly wandering AIs. That was cool as well. AIs walking around. It sort of felt like a busy place.
Well, it was I quite enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just mission to mission to mission to mission. You kind of had that intermission where you could just kind of be with your mates and think, right, what are we going to do next? Are we going to go to the moon because it's just opened, or are we going to go to Russia? Are we going to do this mission, that mission?
Or are we going to go to
this person?
Yeah, or we're going to the Crucible.
Exactly. Yeah, it's quite a night. It's like sitting in the menu, but in the game.
Yeah, I also
really
found the events that came on, like the Iron Banner event. Though it was only it was a bit annoying how it was only a sort of a timed exclusive, so some people never actually got a chance to play on it.
I know.
But in a sense, that sort of felt like the game was developing. It was real.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
A loot cache. Let's see what's inside.
The best part of the game, in my opinion, is the exploration.
Made it for us, didn't it?
Yeah, this is really what changed my mind about the whole game. Obviously, to start off with, it's an awesome game, but this is what really made it. Especially just sort of going around exploration, chests, dead ghosts, things that you find. Not sure quite what they did at first.
You've always got something to do, whether you've got the public events that come through, or you're just looking for a chest. You're going in caves. You've got so much space to just look around in. Like it's so much fun, seriously.
To get to places, you could just walk on foot shooting enemies, or you can use the sparrows, which are just awesome fun they're fun to just jump off things. We made challenges for ourselves. There's a bit where it was like crashed planes where I just sort of jump them. The side missions, like once you've completed the main missions, there's those like green beacon side missions to say, like, I don't know, scout an area, kill enemies for items or whatever. Though they were small, the rewards were like good enough to actually want you like to do them. They didn't take too long as well, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And also the spin metal, collecting them.
For whatever reason, that was really fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. It's just kind of therapeutic, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I got 5 spin metal.
I don't know what it does, but it's amazing.
Yeah. I think that you're supposed to sell them to people at the tower in the social zone, and you'd get rewards for them.
Yeah. But
I did find, though, at some point you were boxed in.
Yeah, it felt a bit like what it reminded me of is a bit like Fable 3, like a linear game trying to pretend that it's an open world game, because even though it felt quite open world, you can really feel the barriers around the edge. Like there's lots and lots of invisible barriers that you can't go into certain places.
Yeah, like up on hills they'll say like, oh, please return to the thing. Obviously it's a beta, they're going to expand the maps.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be brilliant if they did.
Yeah, it's such a big. It was such a big beta for like what it really was. Even if you'd complete the missions over and over, it was still satisfying. I found.
Yeah. Well, on the map front though, considering how how we were just saying about it being boxed in, it is so big that I think both of us noticed that it would have been useful to have a map.
Yeah,
just like a radar kind of map in the bottom left or something would be really nice, just to kind of know
though you have
where
like a motion tracker, you couldn't really. There wasn't some like map that you could quickly pop out. There was the ghost though that you could hold, and it would like show you to your next objective, or whatever. That was pretty cool, but it wasn't really the same as having like a really easy map just to open up and say, oh, that's where I go.
They kind of tried to do it in their own different way, which was cool, but it wasn't entirely practical a lot of the time.
Though the best part about it was that one of the best parts is finding other players, obviously.
Like with Fable 3 at the end game, there's loads of little stuff that you can do, but it's all quite boring because it feels like you're on your own and stuff. But in this, I can see this being a really good end game in the full game, because even though there are only small things like finding chests and spin metal, like we were saying, and things like that, even though that would probably be boring on your own, because you can do it with your mates and with loads of other people.
Yeah,
I think it's really fun. I don't know why, but it is. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Capture and defend, Guardians.
The main points, obviously, of this game was them.
I think what most people will be wanting to hear about, actually, to be honest,
is the multiplayer / Crucible, as they would call it.
Yep.
It's cool in a sense that it links you to the actual world of the game. Sort of. It's not something separate. It is something separate, but it feels like it's linked to the rest as Guardian.
And yet, it's not really in keeping with the rest of the game, because the rest of it's kind of all about exploration and scale and kind of doing stuff with your friends. But this kind of jumps back into
Halo sort of.
Yeah, kind of your typical shooter, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means that if you're bored of exploring or whatever and you want that kind of rush and competitive gameplay, then you can go into the Crucible. But at the same time, it would have been nice if they kind of had a game mode maybe in the Crucible where it was big scale maps. You can kind of employ team tactics better than...
Yeah, I'm sure they'll add that in. Obviously, we were only playing 1 or 2 game modes.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what the beta's for, isn't it? It's seeing what works, what doesn't work, and for Bungie to get feedback from the fans on what they want.
Yeah, I did feel as if though, like cooldowns and abilities and stuff need to be obviously tweaked. You died and you died and you died, or you killed and you killed and you killed, and then you carried on killing. With that, and then you'll die.
It felt a bit like an unfinished product, didn't it? At least in my opinion, that's how it felt. It didn't quite feel like the full package for multiplayer gameplay.
Yeah, hopefully they'll add some more stuff in when the full game comes out. That would be cool, because it has the guns. It has like the maps are really immersive. Obviously.
Yeah. The maps look cool. It all looks really nice. But like when you're using your gun for long range shooting in kind of exploration mode around like the wastelands of Russia and stuff, it doesn't particularly work when you're going to be going around a corner and shooting someone that's 5 feet away.
Yeah, you sort of have to have two. You have to change your weapons as you go, hop across. At least that's what I found. I was using a pistol revolver, and a shotgun in multiplayer. Yeah. Then I was using some sort of like assault rifle.
Not working like in the Russia exploration kind of thing.
It was the end of everything, but it was also a beginning.
Okay, our conclusion of the beta.
Should you buy it or should you not buy it?
Is it hot or is it not?
I think it's great. I think that it's something that almost anyone who loves games could enjoy, because the exploration stuff is very casual and laid back, and you can play on different difficulties on stuff in the different missions, and then also you've got the Crucible stuff, which for those people who really love kind of intense shooters and the kind of what you get basically what you would want from any shooter in the game as well. So it's like there's two games in one almost. So it's got a really good variation. I mean, I'm saying all this, and we've only played the beta. I don't know what it's going to be like in the full game. I mean, it's the amount of time that it kind of it pulls you in almost. You end up playing for so long because you want to try new stuff and get new stuff. And,
you just want better armor. You want better ratings.
Yeah,
and it keeps you going by giving you rewards for what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I would give the game a 9 out of 10.
I'd give it 8 or 9.
8 or 9, 8.5, 9.
But purely based on the fact that it's only the beta and we don't know how good the main game is. I mean, I can't see the main game being bad at all, to be honest, based on how good the beta was. But you know, it's Bungie, and sometimes with some of the Halo stuff, I don't know. There could be something in it. I feel like maybe microtransactions would be introduced or something like that. We're in that kind of day and age in games now where that would not be out of the question. But I'd give it an 8 or 9 from what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah.
Yeah.